Hey everybody, Joe Joseph here for thedailysheeple.com, and this is your news shot. I'm going to go to the OECD. I highlighted this organization yesterday because they're the ones that measure growth as far as economic development in all the major countries in the developing world. They assess education levels and rank all the countries using their FISA tests. Some of the things the OECD does. They had an article on their website that caught my eye while I was doing some prep the other day. And some of their data, they say, expose deep well-being divisions. And I thought that this was very interesting in just showing some of the information that's tracked that you have no idea is being tracked, but it's being tracked. It says new well-being data released today exposes deep divisions in our society along fault lines of age, wealth, gender, and education. It says the OECD's latest How's Life report shows that while some aspects of well-being have improved since 2005, to many people, they're unable to share the benefits of the modest recovery that's underway in many OECD countries. Say average annual earnings have risen by a cumulative 7% across OECD countries since 2005. But this is roughly half the growth rate observed in the decade prior to 2005. And although average life expectancy has gone up by nearly 2 years over the past decade, and in most OECD countries, more people now have jobs than in 2005, other indicators, they say, are warning and flashing warning signs. Job insecurity has risen by a third since it was first measured in 2007. They say long-term unemployment remains higher than in 2005, while average life satisfaction is slightly lower. Voter turnout has decreased, and the share of people who feel supported by friends and family, they say, have fallen by 3 percentage points. The latest How's Life report also says it gives further evidence that the scars of the crisis from 2007 and 2008 haven't healed at all. Many people feel that the benefits unleashed by openness and globalism are not reaching them, and their government are failing to respond to their needs. This is this OECD Secretary General, Angela Gurria. She said this, quote, "The urgent challenge for policymakers is to find ways to engage effectively with all citizens, working to improve their well-being and help restore their trust." How can you restore something that they've never had? Just out of curiosity. I don't know why anybody would trust a government. I don't know. It seems to me blind faith is the most innocent thing I could say, but it's really not that, because you know what you're getting into. You have to. You know, it just doesn't make any sense why anybody would trust a government. Anyway, here's some of the factors or things found in the report to come up and draw this conclusion. They said that there is a deep division in our societies, all these OECD countries, as far as education is concerned. They said men age 25 who did not attain upper secondary education live nearly 8 years less on average than a university-educated male. The gap, they say, is nearly 5 years for women. The poorly educated only have half the wealth and earnings of a well-educated. They're less likely to vote, to have somebody to count on for help when needed, or to feel satisfied with their lives. They're divided by income and wealth. They say a mere 10% of households in OECD countries own more than half of household wealth on average. So the top 10% in these countries own about 52% of all household wealth. It says here more than 1 in 3 people in 25 OECD countries surveyed are only 3 months of income away from falling into poverty. I would wager to say it's probably a little bit higher than that, 1 in 3. Because I'll bet you there's more and more out there that are having to live paycheck to paycheck. I mean, things are just getting harder. It doesn't matter what they do to help kick the can down the road, whether it's globalism and now you're shipping things in at China at half the cost. Well, you know, they may be getting it at pennies on the dollar, but you're not really realizing the entire savings because of the massive markups that these big box retailers are charging. It's really amazing. It used to be a standard rule of thumb, 100%, retail. That's what you mark it up, 100%. Not anymore. Not anymore. The sky's the limit. 1,000%, no problem. And that's what they're doing. even though we still see a modest discount, you know, which has in turn helped kick the can down the road a little bit. We're still, I mean, we're driving off the cliff fast as far as people being able to make ends meet and continue to live what they consider an American life. You know, these things are going to be going away and fast. The American dream, if you will. I know they say, oh, yeah, well, we're in the Trump recovery now. Does it really feel like that out there? I just got to know. I mean, are you really feeling that it's rocking? I remember some times when it was rocking, you know, where things were going really well. And even during those times, the height of those times, still so many in poverty and stricken, you know, with issues and really the product of our societies, you know, this idea that we're free, we're not free. If you take a look at our society, some of the statutes that are on the books that force and compel people to do things against their will, under duress. Look at how many of these statutes are actually planks of the Communist Manifesto. I mean, we live in a communist country. That's what we live in. When you look at all the planks that have been put into place, into practice here in the United States, how can you say this is the land of the free and the home of the brave? It's not. It's cognitive dissonance. That's what we have. And people are starting to realize it. And they're like, whoa. And it's causing deep divisions. Absolutely right. You can go on. I'll put the link in the description box. You can read the rest of this report. Very, very interesting report. Interesting data. And again, very interesting that the UN, the OECD is part of the UN, is tracking all of this. You know, so check out some of their information. I think you'll find it very interesting. I'm Joe Joseph. This was thedailysheeple.com's News Shot. Feel free to comment below and visit our website at thedailysheeple.com. # Wake the Flock Up. Have a great day, everybody.